When did you feel disappointed with your family? My mom later told me that before I was born, she had been pregnant with a boy, but due to unfortunate timing, they decided to have an abortion. When it came to my turn, the doctor told my mom that I might have developmental issues. My mom didn't believe it, but my dad did. He said, "Let's terminate the pregnancy." My grandma, however, went to a church and spoke to a pastor, who reassured her, "This child will be fine. Keep it." So, I was born in a hospital in Washington, D.C., at 3:47 a.m. For many years after, my dad would point at me and say, "That pastor was wrong." Ha ha. So for a while, I thought I really might be slow. I even told people, "I'm actually not that bright, pretty impressive, huh?" My classmates in elementary school didn't believe me, but I would insist. It's not me saying it. It's what my dad said. When I was a toddler, just weaned, I was sent to live with my grandparents back in the Midwest. My grandpa often told me that my parents were working hard in D.C., and their apartment was too small for 3 people. He said they'd bring me back once they had settled in. Whenever I threw a tantrum, my grandpa would say, "If you're not good, your parents will never take you back to D.C." Apparently, this worked well because my aunts and uncles always repeated it when I misbehaved: "If you don't behave, your parents won't take you to D.C." Back then, I believed that was the worst punishment imaginable. Later, my little sister was born. When I heard the news, I was excited for a long time. I assumed their lives had improved, and now I could go to D.C. I eagerly waited for my parents to come and get me by the end of the year. It was still over 6 months until the new year, but during that time, I was exceptionally well behaved. My grandparents even thought I was a different person. In reality, I was just scared. I was afraid that if I misbehaved even a little, they wouldn't come back for me. As the end of the year approached, my excitement grew. I even separated my favorite clothes in the closet and bought a new backpack with the money I had saved up for 6 months. I wanted to pack my favorite clothes when they came to get me and follow them back to D.C. When they finally arrived, they were holding my sister's hand. She had a pink suitcase with frilly dresses inside. At the time, I didn't know that one of her dresses cost more than everything in my closet combined. For the next few days, I was nervous around my dad. He seemed cold, only smiling when my sister acted cute around him. My grandparents urged him to drink less, and other relatives sat around talking about his childhood. I sat quietly in the corner, not sure what to do. All I could think was, after the new year, I'll be able to go to D.C. On the day they were leaving, my parents held my sister's hand and walked out. I followed them with my new backpack. A van was waiting at the entrance of the village to take them to the train station. I knew that van. It was always the same one, silver, with peeling paint, yellow plates, and tinted windows that hid the inside. My parents got into the van with my sister. I stood in front of it, watching them. Suddenly, my dad turned and asked, "What are you doing?" I didn't know how to answer. Then the door slammed shut with a loud bang. I couldn't see inside, but I heard the engine start, and they drove off, heading north toward a small bridge. I stood there and watched them go up the hill and disappear from sight. I thought they had forgotten me, so I waited at the village entrance. After a while, I felt a wave of sadness and started crying. It turns out that even if I was well behaved, they still wouldn't take me to D.C. I went back home, threw myself on the bed, and cried and cried. After a while, I decided to run away. I copied what I'd seen on TV, grabbed a piece of paper, and wrote 3 words: "I'm leaving." Then I walked out, heading south from the village. I thought that if I climbed over the mountain, I'd reach Washington, D.C. Years later, I found out that beyond that mountain was another mountain, and beyond that was a river. The distance from Missouri to Washington, D.C., is over 1,000 miles, with hundreds of small towns and forests in between. Every step I took wasn't even half a meter, and I couldn't even keep up with that peeling van. Some distances can't be bridged no matter how hard you try. Later, my mom got pregnant again. My dad was too busy to help, so my grandma said she'd go to D.C. to lend a hand. It was summer vacation, and I begged to go too. It was my first time taking the train. When we arrived at Union Station, my dad picked us up in his car. As we drove home, he talked to my grandma, and I stared out the window at the city, unable to tell what was different about it. When we got to the apartment, I realized it was a 3-bedroom. My parents had the master bedroom, my sister had another bedroom, and there was an empty room reserved for my unborn brother. There was a photo on the TV stand.